From Adam's house and Gina's house and Bryan's house, this is the Adam Carolla Show. Adam's guest today, Paul Feig. With Gina Grad on news, Bald Bryan on sound effects, and Dave Damashek's here for good sports. And now, during this challenging time, as we face the new normal, he's here for you because we're all in this together. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. No choice but to get on mandate. Get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sharing. We love that about you, right, Gina Grad?
That is right.
And Bald Bryan. Oh, Bald fell off. Well, good news. Paul Feig is going to be on today.
Oh, is he replacing Paul Bryan?
Yeah. We need a guy who really knows movies, you know what I mean? Not just watches them, but knows them. All right. So Paul, who's a great director, he's done so many TV shows as well. Yep. He's done some acting as well, writing, producing, but Bridesmaids, Freaks and Geeks, The Office, Bridesmaids, The Heat, Spy, Ghostbusters, Last Christmas. There's so many movies. And God, I didn't know he'd acted in so much stuff either. All right. So we'll talk to him in a second or in a minute. Sorry.
What are the odds that since he's at home, he's still going to be dressed to the nines in a three-piece suit?
I think I've seen Paul, and I'm surprised. I was told he hasn't been on the show. I did a Take a Knee with him. Mm-hmm. So that's probably what I remember. Or why I remember seeing him. It's quite a contrast in apparel when you see me and you see Paul Feig.
The whole spectrum.
But he's going to join us, and it's just a great guy with a really great story. So we'll do that, and we'll see when Bald Bryan pops back on.
I'm here.
Oh, he's here. All right.
Yeah, sorry about that. You know, so in order to, I'm the farthest point away from my Wi-Fi that I am in the house, but I have to do that so I can be in the kitchen and close the doors and have it quiet. Mm-hmm. The trade-off is the internet's a little slow. I got a booster, and the booster, the internet booster, actually makes things worse. And so the laptop accidentally connects to the booster, blah, blah, blah. I'm back on the Wi-Fi and we're good to go. Sorry about that.
Yada, yada.
The boosters are up there with like all those bizarre supplements you see on ESPN for testosterone. In the word, just
man
the word
booster.
When it's got the word booster in front of it, does it ever really work? I guess that's
ask the Challenger pilot. Ask the Challenger pilot if it works.
Yeah, that's right. O-rings, boosters. There you go.
It's funny you should say that because I'll never forget. I think it was my first year here maybe my second, where I wanted to get you a Christmas present. And I told everyone, oh my God, I have the greatest idea. You know how Adam's always talking about his Wi-Fi not working in the house. Let's get him a booster. And
we never heard about it again.
And Gary goes, Gina, Gary, who knows everything, goes, I advise against it. I go, but booster. So everyone chipped in, and I don't think you ever used it because it doesn't work.
We should have stopped at the booster seat at the diner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where we should have just stopped the booster.
Or the booster shot.
Booster shot.
Yes. And
a lot of good students now.
And you were being sarcastic when you asked me to talk to the surviving members of the family of the astronauts that died when the booster blew up on the shuttle.
Yeah,
right?
Don't do that. That's really poor taste. That was complete sarcasm. That was some Trump level sarcasm.
Let me just cross that out. All right. So let's see. Gavin Newsom, our governor, was telling us that all the beaches are closed down. I think Orange County kind of went rogue, or they opened their own beaches or whatever it is. It was crowded. He's now put the kibosh on that.
And parks.
And I had a nice. I looked out of my office window today to see two guys from the county with their big truck parked out front, trying to figure out the police tape in front of the. Because
we got reports of rogue police tape breakers.
Yeah. So now my take on this thing, a couple things. The more I hear, the more I'm hearing that sheltering at home may not be the best approach to this. The more data that comes in. Now, my feeling is kind of like, we don't know what's out there, so go inside and lock your door. I don't know what's outside. Right. But at a certain point, the sun rises and you're able to kind of look out your window and kind of make some shapes out and start forming a plan. And I don't feel like in California we're really doing that. Also, the plan was, and this made sense. Everyone shelter at home. There's going to be a surge. And if there's a surge, it's going to overwhelm the hospitals. The hospitals don't have the staff, the beds, the ventilators. They don't have that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you could imagine a wave of sick people overwhelming a hospital. And I think all logical people went, okay, that makes sense to me.
That.
But we never really had the surge. And then people go, well, we didn't have the surge because we sheltered at home.
Right.
Okay, maybe. But isn't it time to start thinking about wandering outside of the home, because we're only in the home because we're trying to not overwhelm hospitals, and the hospitals weren't overwhelmed.
Right.
And we didn't have masks. We didn't have gowns. We didn't have ventilators. We didn't have therapies. We didn't know it's better to lay on your stomach than it is to lay on your back if you have this and you're in the hospital. We didn't know all this stuff. All right, we found out a whole bunch of shit, and we got our hospital stockpiles, ventilators and everything stocked up. Shouldn't we? Why are we still engaging in the same behavior that was put in place to prevent something that didn't end up happening, and now we're caught up, or at least caught up in the sense that I feel like the hospitals are in a much better place than they were 5 weeks ago for this.
Yes,
well, and we also have the USS Mercy sitting there virtually empty in Long Beach. That's supposed to help with overflow.
Right. So
yeah, the hospital overwhelming thing made a lot of sense. Hopefully, it seems like it worked. Hospitals are not overwhelmed. If we're past the point at which they would have been projected to be overwhelmed, let's move into phase 2 of the plan.
I agree, and I don't know what phase 2 is. I mean,
whatever it is.
I know what phase 2 is in Texas. I don't know what phase 2 is in California, but I don't know. I think people are, and then also there's this stuff where it's like, well, we had the guy who was talking about the death toll being much lower than we thought, or the death percentage, that it would be much lower than we thought. That guy's video has been taken off YouTube.
Right.
So it's like, it kind of makes you wonder. I don't know. He didn't seem like a maniac with a Napoleon hat that was spouting out a bunch of scary jargon. He's an ER physician who had an experience and was sharing that. Yes.
Well, can I speak to that real quick? Yes. Because I came across an article today from the San Jose Mercury News about the two doctors. First of all, they're not ER doctors; they're urgent care doctors. I don't know if there's a huge difference, but just to be clear, but there was a lot of very dubious math and very dubious science that a lot of experts were like, no, that's not right. And so YouTube took the video down because it violated their misinformation policy. I think I might maybe getting that wrong.
Yes.
But,
no, you're right. No, Dr. Drew watched it and he said they got some things wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing they didn't get wrong, because I drilled down with this on Dr. Drew, is the fatality number.
Mm-hmm.
And you got something wrong, I think, earlier in the week when you were talking about the death toll rising, and so the percentage would change.
Right.
But the death toll will rise, but the percentage will still stay the same. Do you know what I'm saying?
I understand. I assumed that their math was faulty because they were going with a fixed number of the population versus deaths. I wasn't 100% sure about that, but it was in the moment.
Well, but what I'm saying is, if somebody says,
I'm with you,
there's 100,000 who got it and 500 dead, then later on it'll be 200,000 who got it and 1,000 that are dead, but it's still the same percentage. I think what we're saying is some of their numbers, as Dr. Drew said, were not right, but the death was, and so at least according to what they had gathered. So I guess the point is if this thing is, between 2.5 and 4.0 in the death department, that's a big deal.
Right.
But if it's a 0.05 or 0.03 or 0.0 whatever, it's a dramatically different disease. Or in fact,
let's adjust accordingly.
Let's adjust accordingly. Let's adjust accordingly. And we're not really adjusting accordingly. But I know what's happening. What's happening is we don't have the same relationship with numbers. Remember, I was explaining that math is out the window about 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like when people tweet me and they go, more dead than 9/11, that means nothing. That doesn't mean anything. That's not a statistic. That doesn't work in this application. But it was funny because I had two theories. About 3 months ago, I was explaining that math is dead. I've been explaining for about 10 years that we're all turning into chicks. And what I mean by that is when Lynette watches Nancy Grace, she thinks the kids are going to be abducted when they're walking to the froyo place. I know no one's been abducted in this neighborhood in 71 years. So I'm doing a kind of a math and she's doing a kind of a math, and we're both making policy. We're making policy based on the math that each one of us is doing. So my policy is go ahead and walk to the froyo place. Oh, and by the way, there's a nice man with an eye patch and a primered van with tinfoil up on the back windows. Why don't you see if you can hop a ride with that dude?
He needs help. He needs help putting a sofa on the back of his van.
He needs to look for his puppy.
Yeah, he has a kind of, looks like a homemade cast on his arm. You should help him out. So that's my math. Lynette watches Nancy Grace and goes, "You're not leaving the house." That's her math. The other thing that I was saying is that I think the guys who work with tools and chainsaws and backhoes and sort of physical stuff that you can lose a limb on, you know, you're operating a drill press, and if you get your glove sucked into it, it's going to pull your fingers off, you know. Those guys don't have the same relationship with fear that a lot of my Hollywood friends have. Look no further than the Home Depot in Burbank today. I went to the Home Depot. I went into the parking lot. I drove into the parking lot in the Home Depot, Burbank today. Packed.
Yeah.
Just packed to the gills. Now, you know, some of the stuff in there is essential, but most guys aren't going in there to buy toilet paper and Clorox. They're building shit.
Right.
Nobody... I won't say nobody, but I will say in a line of what looked like 200 people trying to get in there, probably 3.5 of them really needed to be in there.
Right.
The others were converting the garage into a guest room during this downtime. Yes, Bryan.
Oh, I was going to say total anecdotal data, but when I told you I went to the hardware store a couple of days ago, when I was there, I could overhear a couple of people just asking the employees like, "Oh, will this work in my, you know, shower or what?" I forget what the exact details were, but the point is they were just doing, you know, casual upgrades. Like they weren't, you know, building a house. They were just, you know, doing a little repair here and there.
Right. But I do think, and there's a socio-economic component of this, but I do think those who put things together all day have a different relationship with fear. Mike Lynch sent me an email the other day and wanted to know if we needed the words tout and flout. Like they're
Nice.
too damn close for something that means really the polar opposites. I had something I'd written down, and I don't know why, but it just made me think about it from watching all of the NFL draft. Everyone was at home.
Right.
In terms of furniture, there is so much range in the sectional sofa.
Yeah.
The sectional sofa can be the saddest piece of furniture in your crappy house, or it can be magnificent. It really has more range, you know. End tables, fine. I get it.
Yeah.
China hutches.
Here and there.
It's all right. But I mean, when you would see like some of those dudes that I think it was a guy who was in Arizona or something, you see some of those magnificent living rooms with
Cliff Kingsbury. Yeah.
$20,000 custom made, you know, whatever. And then you go to the kind of inner city with the mama and the two sons or whatever. They got that weird Naugahyde thing with the drink holder built into it. I don't know why, but there's something. I don't mind a bad sofa. The thing about the sectional that's sad is when it tries to be regal. It's not leather, it's pleather. It reclines, but not quite very well. It's got drink holders, but the Shasta's in the arm.
Stay in your lane, sofas.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, follow up to Lynch's idea. Do we need taunt and flaunt?
No.
Huh?
Let's see. Your taunt. Well, taunt
because you can flaunt
the other team, and yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No. If I'm remembering correctly, you feel like you flaunt your whatever, but like you taunt the teams. Yeah, you flaunt, but you brag. It could be kind of the same thing. You can taunt via flaunting.
Well, you would flaunt your wealth.
Yeah,
right?
you flaunt what you own,
You're
your
taunting
status.
people with your flaunting.
Taunting with your flaunting.
Yeah, you
that's
can
what I'm
taunt
saying.
with your flaunt, and then someone could taunt you if you're flaunting your wealth.
See,
Right.
true.
All right. Let's see. We have
The
Gina.
big issues here.
I was thinking about Nancy Grace and the Tiger King guy, and she's doing
Joe
her,
Exotic.
yeah, she's doing her special. Is she doing a special on that guy?
It sounds like she's doing some sort of limited series, really trying to get to the bottom of things with some of the less essential cast of characters.
Mm. Did Joe Exotic, is he in prison right now?
Joe Exotic is behind bars, just like he put them poor tigers in all of their lives. They never had a chance. Now he's getting a taste of his own medicine.
But don't you think he should be, pardoned by the president? Don't you think he suffered long enough? Don't you feel like he's a great American?
Adam, I don't know how you could possibly think a man sitting there with 3 hots in a cot getting taken care of is somehow being tortured like he tortured those poor kittens, those little kitty cats.
All right, but let me say this, Nancy. I'm not an attorney, but so many people.
Well, I am.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, but so many people are home. They're home, right? And a lot of people are drinking too much. A lot of people are beating on their wives. A lot of people are molesting their kids. And I get
I'm
that.
sorry, hold on. A lot of people are molesting their kids?
Well, I'm saying I get that done before noon. So what
I have
I'm
a new
saying
special coming up.
But Tiger King has brought so much entertainment to so many Americans who may have been contemplating suicide or doing something horrible to a loved one, but yet Joe Exotic put a smile on everyone's face and they put the gun and the bottle down. Doesn't he deserve credit for that?
So let me just make sure I get this straight, Adam. A man with a horrible mullet who wants to kill a woman and taunts her all day by flaunting his guns. You think that he deserves to get out of jail just because he brought a smile to some shut-in's face?
All right. Well, let me pivot to something that's a little less controversial, and I don't think even Nancy could find the danger in this.
Test me, Adam. Test me.
I was going to make my son some cinnamon honey oatmeal this morning with some walnuts in it and a little whole milk. Is that okay? So what I did is I just sent him to the store, and I told him, pick up some oats.
So just to make sure, you called your personal driver. You had him come on over with the partition between the driver and the passenger. You got him in his gerbil bubble. You rolled him down the driveway. You stuffed that in the car. And then what? And then what happened?
I just told him to take a hike to the store. I told him he didn't need a mask.
What kind of a car is a hike? I know a lot about cars, but I don't know. Is that a Nissan hike?
I said, walk to the store. It's hot outside. There's no coronavirus in our neighborhood.
Okay, so you took your 2 private security guards. You said, carry this boy to the grocery store. And then what?
I just told him to take a walk to the store. Don't worry about the mask. It's hot outside, and he's young. He's strong. He's not, he's not in an affected group. So I just told him to walk on to the store and get the ingredients.
How strong do you think this child is, Adam? Is he strong enough to ward off a pack of predatory men that jump out of a van like insane clowns in a clown car? Is he strong like that?
No, we don't have many of those guys roaming around our neighborhood. And I know you think that those guys come into neighborhoods like mine just because we have our guard down, but I've never seen them.
Well, that's exactly what they want you to think, Adam. They got you right where they want you again. Why does this keep happening to you, Adam? You seem like such a smart guy. La Kenyatta is a sleeping giant. They're playing the long game. They want you to feel safe there. They want you to feel protected there. And your son is going to get Vandersluted so fast you won't even know what hit you.
I'm also noticing on the screen that you're upset about the murder of a pregnant woman.
Outrage!
You're outraged?
I'm outraged. You know what? Just roll the tape because it'll explain everything.
I didn't even hear about this.
Jesus.
Bombshell tonight, no murder charges. That's right. In the state of Colorado, you can hunt down a pregnant mom, slit her stomach open, steal her fetus, and the baby dies. And that's not murder. Outrage.
Outrage.
So if I move to Colorado and my trophy wife gets pregnant and she runs out of the house and I hunt her down and then gut the fetus from her abdomen, that's no problemo in Colorado, Nancy?
Charges are going to slip off you like a Teflon pan, and it's outrage.
Outrage, yeah. Well, a couple things. One is I don't know about what's going on with this story, and then two, Matt, if you're listening, let's start checking out Colorado real estate.
Everybody hear that?
My kind of
Everybody
town.
got that on tape? You got that on tape?
Wow.
Now listen, I don't make the rules of Colorado. That's not what I do. But I do know when somebody gets off for gutting a woman and murdering her and her fetus, apparently that's on the table in Colorado. Everybody come to Colorado, smoke your weed, kill your wife. It's fine by us.
You think this is one of those hippies that was high on the weed?
I think that the latitude, the longitude, the thinness of the air in Colorado
Altitude,
already.
the altitude,
Thank
yeah.
you. I know what I'm doing. I'm a former prosecutor.
I'm sorry. I thought you were just
Already
trying to summon the word altitude. I didn't know you had longitude. Right.
It already does something to your brain chemicals, to those on a cellular level. And then you have all those junkies, all the reefer madness, smoking the devil's spinach, getting high, going crazy. And all of a sudden, guess what? You're real high. You got a butcher knife in your hand. You hate your wife. Outrage.
Nice job, Gina. I want to call her, let's see, Nancy Grace. Gina Grace.
Nancy
Great
Grad.
job. Nancy Grad. And a happy birthday to
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Grad
thank
as
you.
hear this as well.
33 is going to be fun.
Yeah,
is your
it's gonna
year.
be a good year. Yeah. What are you guys doing? You doing anything?
Not that I'm aware of, because there's not it, and my birthday also falls on like day without a worker day anyway, so a lot of restaurants tend to be closed in Los Angeles on my birthday anyway. But I keep hearing my fiance and the little one plotting and being sneaky and telling secrets, so I don't know what I'm going to be coming home to, but I think we're doing one of those fakakta Zoom parties with friends, and
Nice.
I said what I need for my birthday is I need some sleep. So I'm going to take the weekend and I'm just going to rest and watch movies, and I cannot wait.
I think we have a clip that I've been wanting to play for a while. It's Governor Cuomo talking about the virus's death and leaving his death and all this stuff. And I'm like, hey,
Outrage.
we got to do a little better job of leading. I don't want to be freaking everybody out all the time. I'll play this clip. Go ahead.
And they're saying that they don't have time to wait for all of this testing, and they need to get back to work.
Hold on a second. Hold on. There's somebody asking him a question, and he's being asked a question that he doesn't like. And we all know what politicians do with questions they don't like now.
Lean in.
He is angry.
Honestly.
But the person is saying, and I don't know if we had this set up or not, but basically she's saying there's people at home, they're out of money, they're out of food. What are they to do? I mean, it's hurting them to be at home.
Right.
What's the plan? All right, here we go.
And they're saying that they don't have time to wait for all of this testing, and they need to get back to work in order to feed their families. Their savings is running out. They don't have another week. They're not getting answers. So their point is the cure can't be worse than the illness itself.
Yeah.
What is your response to them?
The illness is death. What is worse than death?
Well, what if somebody commits suicide because they can't pay their bills?
Yeah, but the illness is maybe my death as opposed to your death. You said they said the cure is worse than the illness. The illness is death. How can the cure be worse than the illness if the illness is potential death?
All right, well,
He's like the opium caterpillar in Alice in Wonderland. I'm more confused now than I was when I started.
Well, first off, it's not death. Turns out most people who got it don't know they had it. So it's not death. It's potential death, and it's minuscule. And it's death if you're, compromised or you're elderly and you have pre-existing conditions or obesity. But it's not somebody who's cooped up healthy wants to go back to work. It's not death.
I have an idea.
Jesus Christ.
Can you can you help flesh this out for me? If we're getting to the point where we know that healthy people who are young-ish and have no pre-existing conditions are going to be okay once they get, if they even know they have it at all, they might have a horrible, horrible month, but they will survive. Then why don't we just put anyone over 65 or someone who has, or anyone with an underlying condition on disability and say, you stay home. We now have the data saying you are not safe and we know you can't earn. So you go on disability, everyone else go back to work.
Before we address that, do we need to flush it out and flush it out?
Ooh,
Oh, God.
yeah, I know. I screwed out flush. I used to say flush and it's flesh.
Yeah, you flush
Yeah,
out.
I know. But I would say, let's flush out this
yeah.
idea. And I meant flesh out. All right. Paul Feig is on hold. We'll get to more of this maybe on tomorrow's show or Monday's show. Let me hit Lightstream. Refinance your debt with the credit card consultation. Or sorry. See, I'm doing what I said. Consolidation. Do we need consultation? Oh, yes, we do.
Yes,
okay,
very
good.
much, very much.
I'm just asking. You can get the loan from Lightstream. Roll balances from multiple cards into one single monthly payment. Get a rate as low as 5.95 APR with autopay, much lower than the national average credit card rate of, can you believe this, 19% APR? Come on, that is a crime, man. Absolutely no fees. Quick, easy application. Do it online 100% of the way. Even you get the money as soon as the next day. So you've racked up some debt with your credit cards. You're paying way too much in interest, and you want to go to Lightstream and get it lowered. Lightstream.com/Adam is where you go. You get a great discount if you go there. That's LIGHTSTREAM.com/Adam. Right, Dawson?
Subject to credit approval. Rate includes 0.5 auto pay discount. 0.5% auto pay discount. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/Adam for more information.
Paul Feig is waiting. He's a great director, he's a writer, he's a producer. And actually, is he a writer? Or is he a director, actor, producer? Well, I guess we'll ask him. We'll ask him in the flesh right after this.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Hey, Adam, this is a friend of the show, Doug Miller in La Jolla. I apologize if you've already done this one, but I just thought of it today. And it's regarding the COVID-19 winners and losers. I think the all-time winners are the women we affectionately refer to as butterfaces, as in nice body, butterface. Now they got it all, a nice bod and a stylish mask. Keep it up. Thanks. Bye.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
I won't dignify that with a response. My wife and daughter are butterfaces. Okay? So I'm not going to even touch that one. Paul Feig is with us, director, producer, actor. The name of the TV show, Love Live. It's going to be available May 27th on HBO Max. Anna Kendrick stars in it. So many shows, so many movies. I was just watching Bridesmaids the other day. I think it was on HBO. I guess it was about 3 weeks ago, or who knows what day it is. But good to talk to you again, Paul.
You too, Adam. It's so great to see you. Hi, Gina.
Hi.
How are you?
Very well. Very excited for you to be here.
Oh my gosh, I'm thrilled to be here.
I don't know what happened to Bald Bryan, but don't think Paul's being a dick. Bald Bryan just fell off the screen.
Did I? God damn it.
Now he's back.
There he is. Hello.
There he is.
What's happening, Paul? Nice to see you.
Good to see you. Good to see you, my friend.
I was talking to actually Superfan Giovanni sent me a email the other day that said Paul and possibly Busy Phillips, and I can't remember who else, Seth Rogen or something, like came on from Freaks and Geeks a million years ago onto Loveline, and I didn't have any recollection of it. But now it sounds familiar. Do you have any recollection of that?
It wasn't me, but I remember they went on. I remember that very distinctly because I remember them they got into something with Dr. Drew way back then.
Yeah, Adam, it was Busy Phillips, and she brought in 18-year-old Seth Rogen as well, and they came out a couple of times.
Yeah.
He was honestly, he was more like 16 at that point too. So he snuck onto the show.
He's such Seth Rogen was so dynamic at such a young age. I mean, we're talking about the guy like, he's a veteran, like he's Jack Lemmon or something, but he's probably 29 and a half or something. I mean, that guy was doing incredibly kind of sophisticated stuff when he was probably 17.
Oh, it's crazy.
That
Yeah. Like I said, we met him at 16. He came into this audition we had up in, like an open audition we had up in Vancouver. We had 4 or 6 actors who had agents in Vancouver. And so we saw them first. And they came in, they were fine. And then in comes Seth, with that crazy voice. And he's just reading. We had this like monologue that we wrote for all the characters. And this was about like guys growing pot in a cave. And then you blow up dynamite with the cops come. And he just kind of reads through it all very, in his Rogen-y way. And Judd and I just looked at each other like, oh my God, this guy's like the funniest guy we've ever seen. My favorite story about that was he had said to us after we had hired him, he said, yeah, I had this acting coach up there. And she was always like, you got to change your voice or you'll never work. It's like, that's why I don't like acting coaches.
Let's not forget that Seth Rogen also has range too. Like when he was in 40-Year-Old Virgin, remember he was the sleeve tattooed, blue collar, for lack of a better word, tough guy. And that's not really Seth Rogen, but like he pulled it off. He's very convincing.
No, he was an impressive guy. Remember we were shooting, we shot the pilot and then we were shooting a bunch of like commercials to promote the show. And he was, he was still 16, if not maybe pushing 17. And he's like, yeah, to Judd and I, he's like, I've been writing this script with my friend Evan about 2 guys who want to go buy beer. And I was like, of course, was kind of like, oh, isn't that nice, little teenage boy? Go ahead and write that dumb movie. And of course, Judd turned it into
super bad.
Exactly.
Who's nicer, you or Judd Apatow?
Oh, I'm way nicer than Judd.
That's kind of a trick question.
No, Judd's great. I love Judd, but Judd was born with the soul of like a 50-year-old agent. Like I've known him since he was 16 or 17. And I get to know everybody when they're 16 or 17. I don't know why that is. Because he was the younger guy running in our group of comics. We were all in our mid-20s. But Judd was already at like 16 or 17. He was like one of the guys helping to run Comic Relief. He was booking like 2 comedy clubs. His dad was like a lawyer, in the music business. So he just understood the business. We were all just a bunch of idiots.
It was interesting. I had a conversation with my soon-to-be 14-year-old son. And when I'm done with this, I'm going to go up and explain how successful Rogen was when he was 14 and what a loser you are. But I had this, it was kind of a weird little discussion, and then you guys can all weigh in on it. We were sitting around, but I think it's the kind of discussions everyone wish we would have had with a parent or a school counselor or something like that. My son loves sports. He's an almanac of information. He knows all the statistics and all the names and everything. It turns out he's not a very good athlete, but he's got a real head for the game. So I said to him, all right, school's done for this year, but you're going to be heading into the 9th grade, which is high school in my neck of the woods. I said, Sonny, see if they have someone who calls the football games, the high school football games. See if they have someone who calls the high school basketball games and get in on it. And my daughter was like chiming in going, he wants to play on the junior varsity C team or the 9th grade or the freshman. I go, It's not important. What is going to be important is if you can get up into that booth and you can help call those games or those high. And my daughter's like, I don't think they have an announcer. By the way, she's just sitting there shitting on every idea I have. Someone ought to find a cure for AIDS. Dad, I don't think that's
possible. I don't think that's
So
they've been trying for years.
They would have had it by now.
I just looked him in the eye and he was like, okay, I'll check it out. And I just went, no, you don't understand. This is important. This is going to be the beginning. If you can get in and you can start calling those games, that will be very important. I think Joe Buck was on our show earlier in the evening or earlier in the day. And I thought, oh yes, do it, get going. And I said, this is important. Yeah. You'll look back on this. And he went, oh, okay. And I don't know why no one's ever had one of those conversations with anybody I know, but.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's so much, we're always about follow your dreams, but it's like, follow your dreams, but in a direction that is attainable, I think. I think that's great advice. I don't know, do you know my story of when I was an announcer in high school?
I know your dad had an army surplus store.
Yes, yes.
And were you in Michigan somewhere?
Yeah, I was in Michigan, right outside of Detroit. And I thought because I fancied myself to be quite an entertainer. And so I thought, well, what be the only thing I had in the high school is like, oh, I could be the announcer at the football games, thinking I would kind of rule and I'd have all this crazy colored commentary. You know, like when you see a high school movie and like always the guy talking to the crowd, but it doesn't happen in real life. So I kind of got up there all set with all these bits. And they're just like, no, you're just going to just read the plays. And the first thing they did was like, you have to announce the team as they come out. I grew up outside of Detroit in a very Polish-heavy community. And so they gave me this list of names that are about like, you know, each one had like 12 consonants and 2 vowels in it. And these guys are running out, and I just completely shit the bed right up front because I couldn't pronounce anybody's name. So I'm saying it, and parents are standing up like yelling, "It's not Dombrowski, it's Dombrowski!" And they're like, "Oh my God!" And immediately it was a disaster, and it just went downhill from there. So your son will do much better than me.
Yeah. Also, and as I think about it, having in the 70s and early 80s in high school, where you grew up, the time you grew up with the Polish kids, having a last name Feig, probably.
Yeah, that was.
There wasn't a lot of math to do.
No, it was very easy to get to. But it morphed. It started as Fig. I was Fig Newton for a long time.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
And I hated, but then it morphed into obviously what you know it would morph into. And then I just prayed every day I could be Fig Newton again.
Yeah, it's like me. I miss the old Carolla days.
All the innocent times.
I know. I even remember, when I was 9 and I was called the Carolla, obviously, instead of Carolla. And I remember thinking, that's not a put down. Everyone likes crayons.
Yeah.
And
a box of crayons.
Anything can come out of them.
No, yes, you need to give me an insulting last name. That's a kind of a lateral move. And I'm going with Fig Newton as well.
Thank you, Adam.
So, Paul, how much, I was looking at the top here, and I was looking at director, producer, actor. How much writing do you do?
I do a lot. I do a ton of writing, actually. I've written several of my movies, and the ones I don't write, credited-wise, I always do rewrites on. And, you have to. It's when you direct movies, especially, it's funny. I remember, somebody I was working with once had worked with a famous actor who got to direct something. And they were going like, oh, it was too bad because they really got stuck with a really bad script. And so the movie wasn't good. And I was like, no, movie directors do not get stuck with a bad script. If you get a bad script, you either don't do it or you have to make it better, either by working with the writer or rewriting it yourself. So part of our job as storytellers and directors is to get the script right. Honestly, I think the script is the most important thing we have to do. And then the casting is next. And then how we shoot it is number 3.
How possible is it to get a script, do a movie like Bridesmaids, and then just go right through the script without sort of tailoring every scene or adding every scene or subtracting?
It's almost impossible. I mean, you never end up shooting the script as it is because it's a living, breathing thing, and when you get to the set, first of all, when you hire people, their voice changes things. And so, I have no patience for these writer directors who are just like, and I know plenty of great improv actors who've worked with these people. And they just you can't change that. I spent 3 years writing that dialogue and you're going to say it just the way I wrote it. It's like, that's the dumbest thing in the world. Because you get these talented people. Why do you not get their inputs? And especially when you're there in the moment, everything changes. The way that the wind's blowing, the way that they look in front of the scenery, the way that suddenly they're in a different mood that day. That all changes. So sure, you shoot the script, but then you play within it. A lot of Ghostbusters haters are always like, oh, you just improv the whole movie. It's like, no, we don't improv the whole movie. We work really hard on the script, but then when we get there, we take different routes to get there. And somebody adds a joke or somebody says something a different way. What I don't like is when it's just say it just the way it's written, because then that's just my voice and it's not their voice.
Well, not just Kristen Wiig, but I would imagine Melissa McCarthy, the second she gets cast and you see what she can do, you're like, okay, you just do what you do.
Oh, totally. Because what we did when we had this really great script that we worked. And then when we hired everybody, Then we had all their personalities. Then we went in and did these improv sessions, a bunch of them with them, just kind of interviewing them and have them talk to each other. And out of that, we went like, oh my God, what a great idea, what a great idea. Then we went back and would rewrite the script to tailor it to the stuff that they were doing. And yeah, I mean, Melissa was so great. Originally, her part wasn't as big as it turned out to be. There was a whole side story about this call center woman in Mumbai who keeps calling Kristen's character, trying to collect on some bills. And so she had the big scene, you know, where Melissa beats her up on the couch now. That was really just the woman calling up and saying, don't you dare hang up on me. And she reads her the riot act. We were like, well, why are we going to give it to this third party person we don't know? Versus we got Melissa, so we rewrote that scene for her to beat her up on the couch.
I'm life, fight back.
I mean, you know, when she bites her on the butt, that's all just kind of happening in the moment. You're just like, oh my God. I just sit there like an audience member watching the TV going like, this is the funniest thing ever. Like, try this.
Well, you literally didn't want to outsource the comedy.
Wow.
I was thinking, it just
Fair.
popped in my head. There's, I think, a scene, speaking of Judd Apatow, I think from his movie, This Is 40, I think there was a scene where his wife went, Leslie Mann, was it? Am I
Yeah.
thinking the right person?
Mm-hmm.
She went into the school to like talk to Melissa McCarthy, who was like the vice whatever behind the thing. And I was just watching it, and Melissa was hysterical, but it was so clear that so much of that stuff was just vamped in real time. I don't know that you could write that. Yes.
No. I mean, it's exactly. It's if you watch the end credits of the movie, they put the whole take of her just going off. I mean, Melissa's an absolute genius when it comes to improv, you know. But so is Kristen Wiig and you know Kate McKinnon. I mean, honestly, so many people I work with. Rose Byrne is brilliant at it. You know, and it's if they become the character and inhabit it enough, then they can start to talk like the character. They're not, a lot of times they're not even going for jokes. They're just taking the extremeness of these characters and just running with it. And it's, that is good gold.
Are you doing Spy 2? I think I saw.
No, that's all misinformation.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to, and I know what I want the movie to be. I've actually come up with a story for it, but yeah, you know, now the whole movie's caught because now Fox went to Disney, and Disney, I don't know if they're going to do any R-rated movies, and I don't want to do Spy 2 PG-13. I just think, you know, part of the fun is that we can be so R-rated with it. So, but, you know, never say never.
I have a question about, speaking of actors you work with, Adam Ray is a frequent guest on our show.
I love it.
Comes on our show all the time. You cast him in a number of movies. I'm wondering, what do you see in Adam Ray? Because frankly, we don't see it. But
Yeah, we don't get it.
Well, that's more kind of like a Make-A-Wish type of thing we're doing.
Isn't a satisfying answer just
Yes.
fantastic? Like, oh, it all makes sense. Okay.
No, I love it. I think Adam's so funny because I first saw him for The Heat, and he just came in and he just read this kind of like thug, and he was just so funny that he killed me. When he got to the set, he just has that really funny quality about him. And so, yeah, after that, it's just like, where can we get Adam in this movie somehow?
Well, also, he's a joy to be around. I've done a lot of shows with him, and at some point, yes, you're making a movie, or at some point, yes, you're doing stand-up, and he's opening for me, but at another point, we're sitting in a small green room for 45 minutes with his girlfriend eating raisins, and if that guy's a douche, I just don't want him to show up next time, because there are plenty of funny people.
Yeah.
You know, acting is one of those things where there's a fair amount of people who can do it. There's a kind of a rarefied air sort of thing that when you get to the Daniel Day-Lewis, you know, part of the Sacha Baron Cohens or something, hard to replace those people. But for the smaller parts, you have to spend a lot of time with these people on the set. And the set is kind of pressure. It's got a lot of pressure to it. It doesn't necessarily mean negative pressure, but it's a kind of a beehive of hurry up and what's next and what did we miss and what do we, like there's an intensity to it. And what you want to be around is people that are cool and helpful and work well in that pressure and don't have like a short fuse and snap it grips and PAs and stuff like that. And then ultimately you want to do another project with them. And, you know, whether it's Judd Apatow or Paul Feig or Adam Ray, you go, I want to work with these people. And I've heard many people talk about many actors and directors and everything else, and you go, "You going to do another project with so and so?" And they go, "Life's too short." Like they go, "Fuck it, man." That's 4 months of my life I will not get back.
Yeah, I'm 100% on that. I mean, I bet really heavily on everybody. I mean, from crew members all the way to the stars. To me, it's not, if somebody's a big star, but I know they're just going to be impossible, it's not worth it to me. I don't think I'll even get a good performance out of them, because I'm going to be afraid of setting them off, or I'm going to be at odds with them. No, you're such a family on these sets. And, again, the moments you're on screen, when you add those up to how much time you're around these people and sitting around during the day, it's micro fraction of the actual day when you're dealing with these people. So I'm with you. I just love working with friendly people. And the thing is, I found the most talented people in the world are really friendly. I've only worked a couple of times with people who were really talented, who were kind of insufferable. But then I was at least like, okay, but at least they gave me the performance I needed, but I wouldn't do it again.
We had a script supervisor on an independent movie I did called Road Hard, and we were improvising and mixing things up and testing out and trying out. And she was agitated that we weren't doing what was on the script, because she's the script supervisor. And she was like arguing with the guy in Video Village the whole time. And like, eventually there was like a big shouting match, and she just stormed off. But it really screws you up when you're in that environment. And, famously, there've been many meltdowns and explosions. There's something about that environment which is unique. It does, I've been on 1,000 construction sites. It doesn't feel like that. It's a whole bunch of people doing a whole bunch of different shit to build the same house, but there's not this bizarre intensity that there is. And that's where you get those world-class meltdowns we get to enjoy on YouTube.
Yeah, well, also, if you think about it, every minute is costing like tens of thousands of dollars. So that, how many times, like, I've been like, oh, they're just in the bathroom. It's like, I hope they enjoyed that pee, because that's like a $20,000 pee they're having right now, But I had the same thing when I did Spy, actually, in Hungary.
Oh, really?
My script supervisor, bless her heart, she wasn't used to the same thing. She wasn't used to all this improv that we do. And so we would go on these things, and she broke down in tears at least 4 times, of course, in the movie. But the one thing she did that killed me, I was like, because I'll do these mega takes where like a half an hour we're just doing all this stuff. So I'm feeding stuff into all this stuff. At the end of the 30-minute take, I cut, and she goes like, Paul, you do realize that everything you just shot, you cannot use. It's like, what? Something was off, and it's just like, are you fucking kidding me? 30 minutes, you're not going to tell me? And she cried again. So
Oh my God.
It is, yeah. I think ours may have cried. She may have yelled at someone, and she definitely stormed off the set. But what was funny is we're filming in my house, so she just stormed out of my house. Another unsatisfied female storms out of my house. Join, take a number, baby. You're on a famous list of who's who.
But I love is the ownership that like the script supervisor takes, like, as if their job is, it's a very important job, but somehow they're the key, and if they're not happy, then the whole movie has to come to a screeching.
Well, it is a kind of an interesting thing, which is we've all done the move where the guard guy with the windbreaker who's standing in front of the movie theater by the door, when you go, I got to run out and get my sweat jacket and come back, it's cold in the theater, I can't let you back in. Like, that guy at a certain point, by day number 3, he thinks he owns the movie theater, right? And the guy who works the gate at the lot with the piece of knotty pine that's 6 foot long and 4 inches wide, he thinks he owns the lot. He thinks that's his lot. Every CHP guy who pulls you over thinks he owns every stretch of highway in California. That's just what happens to people. You take literally the lowest paid person at that movie theater is the guy standing by the door. Definitely the lowest paid person on a lot on Paramount or Sony or Fox. The lowest for sure is the person in that guard shack. And amongst the lowest on the set is the script supervisor, and she thinks it's her movie because she's holding the script.
Everybody thinks they're Bruce Willis and Die Hard. They're the last line of defense. Who's going to Save
But
them.
it's kind of, and there's been experiments that have been done this way, and this isn't apples to apples, but when you take regular people, I think it was like the Berkeley prison guard experiment or something, you just take random students and you go, you're prison guard, it's your prison, and you have dominion over these. Next thing you know, they're yelling at them to do push-ups and screaming, your last easy day was yesterday. 10 minutes earlier, they were just students on the same campus. Like this is the problem when you take dumb people and you put them at the guard shack of life.
Amen, my friend. Amen.
But it's so true that the script supervisor, one of the people on the stage who had the least to do with the creation of the script, right? There's probably Teamsters that had more input than the script supervisor. Somewhere around day 13 of shooting, she thinks she owns the script. Like that is her baby and her creation.
It's fun. I mean, it's, a great script supervisor is the greatest thing in the world. I've been lucky to work with so many great ones. But yeah, when you occasionally get the one, there's also ones who kind of, want to be directors. And I'll get a lot of this of like, do you think you need this shot? Like, I don't know. No. And then he has a good idea. And I'm like, no,
move the camera.
I think you want in a good script supervisor what you want in a good air traffic controller / bookie. Like get the information right, take some notes,
keep good records,
have a calm tone. Let's not panic everyone out there on the tarmac.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Not get in a fight with the camera operator, the camera assistant with his. They always see these fights where they bring up that whatever that slip is that has the takes on it, and suddenly everybody's yelling. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah. Well, I don't imagine you being that way on set, Paul, but it'll bring out the worst in everybody.
I'm amazed at how much of my energy goes into just trying to make everything happy and keep everybody happy. And I don't say that like a bad way, like everybody's terrible. It's just like, I can't work if there's tension around. So I have to then work extra hard to make sure that there's no tension. And 99.9% of the time, my crews and my cast are so wonderful, but there's just occasionally something comes in and you're like, oh my God. And then I'm like, why am I killing myself trying to keep everybody else happy? But it's like, if I don't, then I'm going to get screwed because then my creativity gets all
the product suffers.
Paul, are your parents divorced?
No, they were together. I know. Weirdly, they were married their entire life. So somehow I'm just a chronic people pleaser.
Are you? I like that.
Thank you.
Love a people. I love someone with low self-esteem, and I love a people pleaser.
There you go. I'm high self-esteem, low self-esteem. Like in my moments of grandeur, I'm really like, don't tell me. And then the rest of the time, I'm just like, everything I do sucks. Everything I do sucks. So it's a weird roller coaster to ride. And the worst is when you realize you're out of sync in a certain moment. Like when you need to be really confident, you're shitting the bed. When you're like need to be humble, you're just like, hey, don't tell me how to do things. So I gotta get on some antidepressants.
I wonder, do you guys think we could? And they probably have it, but they have all these IQ tests. Do you think they could have a self-esteem test? Well,
there's the narcissism test.
So is that the test that Drew did during Loveline, or is that the same?
Well,
thing?
he did a narcissism test, and good.
Paul took the test.
Good news, Gina. So the greatest execution or example of it, or self-fulfilling prophecy of it, is Drew cooked up a narcissism test. Now, book. He wrote a book on it with another doctor, and he interviewed every celebrity that came through Loveline to try to figure out what their score was or how it worked. The questions are weird. I'm not here to knock whatever science this may be, but I've taken the test. I scored high. The one who scored the highest was Robin Quivers from the Howard Stern show.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
I was beside myself when you gave me the answer to that test. I thought, well, this is not mine. This must be Howard's. This could be anybody, but it's not mine.
But Robin, do you see what's happening right now? This is becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. You were told you have.
I don't know what you're talking about. I just know that I am a people pleaser. I am the one that can't relate relax unless everyone's happy. I'm the one who's constantly showering people with gifts. And for you to tell me that my self-esteem is too high and I think too much of myself, you must be insane, sir.
Well, the real pleaser is the great director, Paul Feig, but let's not digress. Adam Carolla, I scored high on the test as well, but I didn't do battle with Dr. Drew over my high test score. See, I'm trying to tamp down my narcissistic tendencies. Yours are unbridled. And you understand, and the more you protest, the more it gives credence to the test for being the highest testing celebrity, Rob.
Yeah.
No, Adam. See, this is why your little pea brain cannot compete with the size of my giant cranium and all of the thoughts that it contains. I know, because I am much smarter than you, that I am not a narcissist. I'm a perfectly average, salt-of-the-earth, hardworking career woman, and I don't know who you think you are, but you are no match for me in the non-narcissism department.
But why attack Dr. Drew? He simply put the book together and you took the test. That's not
I didn't attack Dr. Drew. I merely told him, possibly in a condescending fashion, that his test is faulty, that it doesn't work, that he's got it all backwards, and it's not my fault that he doesn't know as a doctor how to diagnose people. That's not my job. My job is to bring mirth and joy to the masses.
All right, Robin, I just want to say in closing, when I was in high school, I was a poor student. We'd take these Scantron tests. You'd punch the thing out or close the thing in, and then you'd run it through the Scantron machine. And the more noises it made, the worse you did on the test. When I would push mine through it, the thing lit up like a fucking pinball machine and a puff of smoke came out of it. But I didn't blame the Scantron machine. You understood? I'm
not that guy. No, you're into carpentry, Adam. I know that it is a bad carpenter who blames his shoddy tools. And all I'm saying is maybe Dr. Drew needs to take a look at his tools that he's using for this fakakta test that doesn't work on anyone, that's completely backwards.
Good job, Gina Grad.
Nice.
Yeah, I think she had the highest score. Robin did.
That's amazing.
Test measures authority, self-sufficiency, superiority, exhibitionism, vanity, entitlement. I don't even know what one of those words is. Sorry, go ahead, Brian.
Oh, I was going to ask Paul a question. Sorry, bringing it back to Paul's movies. I love Spy. Spy was a really good movie. And one of the things that I loved about it, I want to ask you as the writer and director, Jason Statham was hilarious. And did you write that part for him? Did you audition him along with others? Did you know he could be funny? Because he was legitimately hilarious, like a comedic actor. He held his own with all the other comedic actors. And I'm wondering if you wrote it maybe for The Rock or maybe for Jason Statham, or how that whole thing went.
No, I wrote it for Jason. I'm like the biggest Jason Statham fan. My wife and I watched all his movies. We were just obsessed with him. And then one of the great things when you're a director is you can actually like ask for a meeting with somebody famous. Right. So I was like, I wonder if I should meet with, I remember one day just going like, maybe I can meet with Jason Statham. So I had this meeting with him and I was terrified because I thought for sure he was going to be Jason Statham when he came in, like beat me up or something. But he was the nicest guy and he was so funny and we just had the greatest time. And so I said, like, Jason, I want to put you in a movie. I'm going to write a role for you. And he's like, oh, yeah, sure. Okay. So then I wrote Spy, like right after that, and came up with the idea of this Rick Ford character and wrote it for Jason, which when everybody read the script of the studio when we were getting ready to make it, they're like, oh, so that like going to be Will Ferrell or Ben Stiller? Like, no, it's going to be Jason Statham. What? And then they thought it was a really funny idea. But then when I contacted him, his manager wrote me back or called me back and said like, look, he actually doesn't normally do this kind of thing. And he's, I don't even know if he's really excited about kind of making fun of himself, but you're the first person who said they were going to write him a big role in a script who actually did it. And so because of that, he appreciates it so much, he's going to do the movie. And then we just had we had the greatest time. If you get a chance on the Blu-ray or on the, whatever the extras, when you watch them, there's a reel of all the jokes we had Jason do that aren't in the movie. And it's so hilarious because we had him saying the stupidest stuff. And I would like sit like 5 feet away from him, like reading off these jokes that we had written, just knowing one of these times he's going to just grab me and punch me and go like, are you fucking kidding me? But I would read him a joke. He would burst out laughing. He would try it once. He'd laugh halfway through it. Then the second time he would do it and just nail it. And he is my hero. I love that guy so much.
Well, I think we learned a pretty valuable lesson from Airplane and Naked Gun and stuff like that, which is don't take comedic actors and put them in those heavy roles. Get the real heavy and put the comedic lines in the heavy's mouth.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's so much more effective.
There's no stakes then, because you're like, I hate when it's a funny villain, because then it's like, okay, so I know there's no danger, nobody's going to get killed. The funny thing with Jason was when after I wrote the role, and normally I'll have people come in and we'll do a little improv session or just read through the script. So I had him come in, and Melissa was there too. And I said, he's like, so he sits down with the script. He goes like, so should I try to be funny? I said, like, Jason, treat this like your most serious movie you ever made. And so he just was reading these lines, dead serious, and we were laughing so hard. I think he thought we were making fun of him at some point. And then he ended. I go like, Jason, go home and don't look at the script again until we go to the set. Do not rehearse. Do not do anything, because it was perfect.
It was, and it's funny. All the outtakes and the extra jokes and stuff are always just so satisfying. I was just watching Talladega Nights the other night, and you stick around to the end and you see all the improving and all the jokes and all the deleted scenes.
You get those brilliant people on the set, and just let them go. Oh my God, it's so much fun. And again, this is where, not to keep it going with this, but where these writer directors who don't let people play around, it's just, cutting off that source of creativity, and you're going to get so much great stuff, and I'm going to get credit for it. That they're hilarious, People are going to go, hey, I liked your movie. So it's like, why would I cut that off? I always say on my sets, when people want to do something, it's like, look, let's do it, because if I don't have it, I don't have it. If I have it, I don't use it. That's fine, but at least I had it to try. So there you go.
Yeah, it's so true. You get credit for it line that you just said. I've said that to people so many times, like, use this person's idea instead of your own if it's a millimeter better than yours, because your name's on it. You'll get credit for it. I'm not sure what that ego is, that pushback is, but some people have that wiring, and I don't get it. Or maybe Paul Feig has the ultimate narcissistic wiring, which is his name is on it, and he wants to use everyone else's great lines and give them no credit for it.
I'm like a creative vampire. I just suck.
Nefarious.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, if I could just even that out really quickly, because I hope that you're not actually a narcissistic vampire. We're quite sure you're not. But between movies like The Heat, which is one of my favorite movies in the world, and Bridesmaids and Ghostbusters, there are other ones that do it, and that's wonderful. But the stories that you give to women that are so fucking funny, and the characters are so well rounded, you don't think, oh, this is a chick flick, this is a girl movie. These are just fantastic movies with a fantastic cast, and it's like, the high tide rises all boats, and it's like, oh yeah, no, women can carry these. We're in the 21st century. Please, let's get away from that conversation. Watch a Paul Feig movie.
Oh, thanks, Gina. Well, I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
My goal has been to erase the word chick flick from the language, because it's just an excuse for guys not to watch a movie with women in it, and there are some movies that definitely fall more into a quote unquote chick flick, way, but I don't buy that. And it was so nice after Bridesmaids, I know all these guys got dragged by their girlfriends to go see it, and the fact that they were like, oh, that was actually really funny, is like, oh, good. Remember that next time you see women on a poster, and don't just dismiss it out of hand. So, well, thank you, Gina. I really
thank you.
I don't. I loved. I'm trying to think. I don't suspect that we're nearly as closed off or prejudiced or whatever it is we always make ourselves out to be, because if even you go back to Alien, Sigourney Weaver. She was a badass. Every guy I know, it's in their top 3 horror, sci-fi, action, whatever, all of them. I saw it when I was 14 or whatever. I didn't care that a woman was running a show, but it has to be a great movie. The movie has to be great. Or Bridesmaids in the comedy department, or Black Panther. I took my white as a ghost honky ass son to watch that. He says, like, one of his favorite movies of the year. It's like everyone is black, doesn't care. Good movie. Like, I don't know. I think we make too much about that. I think people want a good movie, the color, the race, the the sexuality or whatever. I think it just all takes a back seat to everybody but a very small group of people that is getting smaller by the day, that they don't really even get a vote. Like they're not influencers or style makers or anything. And I don't even think it's worth it. It's all on merit now.
Well, the problem is that, we went through this with Ghostbusters, is that those voices are tiny. There's such a tiny minority, but the media then blows them up into these big voices. And so, we could have completely avoided all the controversy on Ghostbusters if the media didn't, right from the beginning, start putting out these people on the internet are very upset and there's a lot of pushback and a lot of this and that. It's like, I was trying to ignore them for a year and a half until finally it got so overwhelming that I said something publicly, and then it all blew up because then I was the villain for daring to bring it up. But,
but
again, if we just marginalize these voices, we can push past that.
Well, the good news is, if we're arguing over the remake of Ghostbusters, we're officially out of problems.
Well, exactly.
We were officially out of problems. Now
we got a problem or two.
We have bigger fish to fry now, but I do love when I see what America can really burn a lot of calories on. Other places have kids trapped in caves and a rising tide and all that shit. We have remakes of comedies from the late 70s, early 80s, or mid 80s. And when we invest a lot of calories in those, I realize, oh, good, we're out of problems.
Oh, no, I mean, outrage is the most misused emotion in the world, because it's, outrage for inequality and corruption, that kind of thing. Yes, please be outraged. But when it's about pop culture, like, I do hope that this whole thing we're going through right now can maybe lop that off. But I don't know. Remember after 9/11, we were like, irony is dead, comedy's dead, blah, blah, blah. We're never going back. And then like a year later, everything was back to, being ridiculous. So I don't know. Who knows how we're going to come out of this one.
I unfortunately, whatever pause button we may hit when we come out of this one, unfortunately, our default setting is to go the direction we go. So that sadly is where we shall drift back. But there's also philosophically a small group of people are going to come out of this with a little different take on life in general. And it's like a small group. And I was saying either on this podcast or somewhere else, but I was sort of toying with you try to get something, like if you have a near-death experience, you want to get something out of that near-death experience. You want to survive cancer and have a new lease on life and have a new outlet. And, everyone who was on the plane, Captain Sully landed in the Hudson, should have a slightly different, when they go out to dinner that night, they should appreciate that steak a little bit more than you or I.
Not yell at the waiter, exactly.
Right. And so if we could look at this as a collective near-death experience where we didn't have to look at a wing of a commercial airliner that was on fire outside of our window, like a low impact near-death experience, like a low grade near-death experience, we could still mine all the lessons out of a near-death experience and go on and have a better life when things open up.
I hope that happens. One thing I do know, there will probably be an overwhelming amount of new sourdough bakeries.
Well played.
Well said.
All right, let me hit Geico, and then we'll take a break and do some news with Paul Feig as well. Geico, do you own or do you rent? Well, if you do one or the other, you should then bundle with your automotive insurance. Geico makes it easy to bundle the homeowners and the renters insurance. You get a quote, see just how much you could save. It is easy. It is Geico easy. So go to geico.com and see just how much you could save when you bundle at geico.com. All right, quick break. We'll back with the news right after this.
Breaking viral, all those crazy Trump tweets. Give me news with Gina Grad. Trouble in the Middle East. Celebrity drunk meltdowns. Deep news with Gina Grad.
The news with Gina Grad.
I should point out that there's a quarantine show called Quarantine Cocktail Time every day at 5 p.m. Is that Pacific time on Paul's Instagram?
Yep, up
Paul
live.
Feig, Paul is going to make some cocktails and encourage viewers to donate to worthy charities. So that is your Instagram page at Paul Feig.
At Paul Feig, 7 days a week, every single day. We've got coming up our 44th show today. So
nice.
Thank you.
Wow. Well, somebody else who's contributing to the cause, Tom Hanks, might just save the world with his blood. He is since recovering from COVID-19 and is donating several pints of blood plasma. It contains antibodies produced by the immune system that specifically recognize and destroy the coronavirus. On Wednesday, wife Rita Wilson shared on social media a photo that we're looking at the donation center, and Tom Hanks tweeted a photo from last week's contribution. Doctors successfully treated some very critically ill patients with antibodies from people who recovered. Also, scientists believe those antibodies hold the secret to the vaccine. So,
Paul,
Tom Hanks
I don't know if you can, Paul, can you get a message through to Tom Hanks if I give you one?
I actually am friends with Tom. I can do that.
Okay. Let's now he is, what is he? 63, 65? I don't know what his age is. 62?
Yeah. I mean, he looks amazing.
Right. Okay. So here's the message.
Yes.
He's 63 years of age.
Yeah.
He's officially America's new dad. Like he is his Q rating and his likability. If he was a president, he would be polling at 100%. Everyone, this guy's a hero. He's been married to the same woman for 40 years. We are in love with Tom Hanks.
You think he's officially taken over from Cosby?
I don't know.
I do. I think it's official. And that's what I was going to say. When Bill Cosby was 63, he was riding pretty high too.
Oh,
okay.
This is a cautionary tale.
Honorary degrees.
You tell him this is coming from me, okay? Because he might not take it well coming from you, but you tell him when Bill Cosby was 63 years of age, there was no more beloved human being in America than Bill Cosby. I would say that Tom Hanks is right about at that status today. He must be watched. It is only downhill from here, and look no further than politicians or Woody Allen or whoever, Bill Cosby. They're dropping like flies.
That's the break point right there.
Okay.
We trust that plasma. Maybe that's the sort of, it's all been moving towards this moment, and then we get overtaken by Tom Hanks's plasma.
If he's planning on roofing, if he's planning on roofing anybody or auditioning some teenage girls on the casting couch or something, he really should watch himself.
You take that right off the schedule.
Yeah, take it off the schedule.
I'm calling Tom right after the show.
Yeah, what year would Bill Cosby, was Bill Cosby 84, 83? Like, would it have just been 20 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, it was right in that early 80s because I very dumbly started an improv troupe, and the only time we could ever get a space was at this bowling alley nightclub, and it was 1984, and it was 8 o'clock on Thursday night was our spot when the Cosby Show was on, so like nobody ever showed up because he was that beloved.
The Cosby Show was so big that was your spot. That's interesting.
They literally.
All right, anyway, just tell Tom's coming from me.
Okay.
And it's coming from love.
Okay, good. No, I like that's fatherly advice from you for the father of our country. So that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
I look at you as kind of being the father of our country too, because
you're an absentee stepfather.
Voice I listen to.
Thank you.
Well, if you're hungry for some high-end cuts of beef, you might want to make your way over to a San Francisco food bank. Fox News reports that the family-owned Snake River Farms in Idaho has donated $2 million of American Wagyu steak, about 35,000 10-ounce cuts, to San Francisco food banks. The large donation, by the way, that's only a portion of what they donated. They donated $8 million in steak, of 200,000 steaks, but $2 million of that, $2 million of that is the Wagyu. That is, of course, a city that's been hit very hard by COVID-19, like New York, Seattle, Los Angeles. The steaks were delivered to a warehouse in Fremont, California last week, where they're being cut and packaged before being sent to food banks. And the farm, which is, quote, one of the only beef companies in the world that personally touches every aspect of production from start to finish, they sell to very high-end restaurants. And of course, they have a surplus. The restaurants are closed, the dining rooms are closed, and they don't want this meat to go to waste.
River's the real deal.
In terms of the look, I got nothing against the homeless, but hear me out.
But
Well,
however,
look, they're homeless. They can eat shit out of a can. We could take this stuff and make super high-end jerky that we could enjoy when they lift this whole process, right? I mean, so the jerky takes a little while to marinate and ferment or whatever you have to do. You have to dry it out, whatever. We could have some super high-end Wagyu jerky coming down the road. Or that homeless guy could have a full belly with our high-end steak, but all that guy's going to do is shoot up in the park and try to rape your daughter. You want him to have enough energy to do that?
You running for president this year?
That's right. I'm America's father.
I knew it.
Look, give them some army rations. Save the good stuff for us. I want high-end jerky.
You do make a good point. We don't want any of that B12 surging through their bodies to create crime and chaos.
That's right.
Wow.
And
Superfood.
like there wasn't a problem with defecation in the streets already in San Francisco.
Well, those are some high-end dumps if they're coming out with.
Yeah, I know.
The dumps are selling for $5 a pound.
Right.
Well, someone is about to spend $800,000 for a day with Tom Brady. This is according to CNN. The six-time Super Bowl champion auctioned off a chance to experience his first home game as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer like nobody else. Large grossing package. It's called the All-In Challenge. That's the virtual fundraiser offering experiences with athletes and celebrities and corporations, of course, raising money for, to help during this coronavirus pandemic. And here's how the All-In Challenge described the experience with Tom Brady. This full quote: "You'll get to join Tom in his historic and unprecedented experience by attending with three friends his first game with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in addition to either a private dinner or a private workout with Tom himself. Choice is up to you. You also get his first game-used uniform. The auction for Brady's experience began at $50,000 on Tuesday. 32 bids later, $800,000. The winning fan's identity not revealed. Brady accepted the bid, and it's on."
All right, here's the caveat. You don't, first things first, you don't go workout with Tom Brady. You definitely go meal with Tom Brady. Because workout, he's going to be staring in a mirror doing, lunge squats the whole time. That could be anyone at your gym.
Not gonna
but here's the problem. Here's what I would carve out. If I cut that check for 800, Brady, such a clean goddamn liver. He's going to be sitting across the table from you. You're going to have a martini. He's going to be drinking avocado milk. And my thing is, hey, bitch, for 800, we're going to get shit-faced.
We're drinking.
Yeah.
I want you to get sloppy and tell me how hot Giselle is in the sack or that her pussy stinks. I want to hear what a douche Belichick was. I want some stories, and we're not going to get them out of you on your smoothie. You got to get drunk.
Let's go to Paul Feig's Instagram and make some cocktails.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, Tom, if you want to come on, $8 is waiting for you, my friend.
So the going out to dinner with the celebrity is great, but you got to make sure they're a boozing celebrity, because as soon as they get a couple of glasses of wine in them, and then you start asking them, what was Statham really like on the set of his body? We get some great stories.
Ironically, I'll be so boozed up, I'll tell you.
Right. He's like, Gronk is a total racist. Totally. The guy's in the Klan. Like,
Adam, when's the fundraiser to have dinner with you and work out with you?
If you can provide a steak and a martini, we'll do it tonight.
Yeah. If we can go out to dinner tonight, I'm in. I'm wide open to that stuff. I always just think to myself, oh, what the hell am I going to raise? Although I'm on Chris Laxamana, aren't we on Jeff Cesario's school's website to raise money for the school that his daughter goes to and other schools as well?
biddingforgood.com.
And you can take a tour of my Paul Newman race car warehouse and museum if you.
And you don't even have to stand 6 feet away from Adam. He doesn't care.
No, we'll get in the car together.
He'll fireman carry you to the right.
That's right. So, Mr. Feig, you're a very fashion-forward man, and we always enjoy what a natty dresser you are. I'm wondering if you'd be interested in this. Italian design studio Design Libero just released images of a prototype for an isolation bubble suit. It's fully equipped with solar-powered filters that purify the air within the bubbles and protect the wearer from contaminated droplets. I think we have a picture. There it is.
Oh my.
A small backpack contains the filtration system, and the bubble suit looks like this clear plastic pill capsule that basically covers you from above your head to right at your knee. It has a zipper that connects the top of the bubble to the bottom, and I'm thinking this is what we're going to be wearing come 2021.
Wow. Don't the germs come in up through your legs, though? Or it looks like it's open on the bottom?
Unclear.
I'm very worried about it.
Yeah.
Leg germs.
Wow. And there's a new leader in the clubhouse of best places to fart. It used to be Mummy Sleeping Bag, and for years they were perennial all-star. No one could ever dethrone Mummy Sleeping Bag after some body heat had gotten it up to temperature. But now
this raises the bar.
This raises
How do you think
the bar.
that blown up? Exactly. How do you not? Doesn't it get all steamy though from breathing? That's what
Yeah.
I
I mean, there is a filtration system in there, but I don't see this for us.
You guys remember
getting rid of the fart, so I don't know.
You guys remember, like, after 9/11, it's like people who lived in New York who worked above the 20th floor were purchasing parachutes and zip lines, and it's this is kind of that, right? Like, I don't know how practical you having a parachute is on the 34th floor, but God bless you. This is just that.
If you're going to sell bubbles, now's the time.
Right. And what this looks like is one of those, 1950s fashion shows talking about what the future of fashion is going to be in our spacesuits. It's very, it's very funny, but you never know.
You know what?
Yeah.
I could end up with one of those.
The future, we always get the future wrong. Like when we go, this is what the future car is going to look like. The Futura Ford at 1957. And it's got fins and rocket blasters coming out of the back. And could you imagine if they just showed what the real future car was? A Toyota Prius, like a beige Toyota Prius. They just unveiled it in 1955. The future is here. And everyone went, what the fuck?
I know.
It's tan.
I know 100 years from now, everything will look the same. It's just our phones will be even smaller. So that's about it.
Yeah, they'll be implanted.
You look at those cars from like 1955 at the auto shows, and they had like fighter bubble canopies for each occupant, and fins and jets, and
they're rocket ships on wheels.
Like rocket ships, and the future is a Prius.
Yeah,
the cloth interior.
When will the Jetsons happen? When are we just pushing buttons?
This is what that's the whole thing. It's the thing about the future, and I'm now really thinking about it, is it's austere. Like, it doesn't have a lot of pomp and circumstance. It's like, that's the whole thing about the future. There's it's nothing. It's muted. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Do you remember the movie Peggy Sue Got Married?
Yeah, sure.
It was a grad family favorite, and the whole point was
Nick Cage,
and Kathleen
Turner,
and going from the 50s to the 80s. And when she's explaining everything is big now, the TVs are big, this is big, and now it's like no, honey. Now it's exactly the pendulum has swung the other way. Everything's tiny.
Well, that's a scary thing in movies is like phone technology. Because when's the last time you watched My Best Friend's Wedding? You're watching with some like teenagers like a few years ago, and she pulls out the giant flip phone, and they just could not stop laughing at that. It just ruined the whole movie for them.
Well, that's why they used to have that popular Twitter account, Modern Seinfeld. How none of the plots on Seinfeld would have worked now because there were no phones then. There were no cell phones.
Exactly.
So, okay, well, moving on to something sort of bizarre, and Adam, I feel like you may have a slightly different take than the rest of society. A California city's planning commissioner has resigned after he threw his cat in the air on a Zoom meeting where city officials also said he was drinking and using derogatory language. This is according to BuzzFeed, and we do have the clip. During the April 20th meeting, which took place via Zoom, the Vallejo planning commissioner, Chris Platzer, was asked if he had any comments regarding an agenda. I think this was about building a Costco, and this was his response to that.
If I'm allowed to make them, yes, this is the section where you can, Commissioner Platzer. Okay, first I'd like to introduce my cat. And I will.
So he was he seemed maybe a couple of sheets to the wind. He then went on to sort of berate the rest of the people on the Zoom call. At one point he said, "I'm going to call bullshit on you little bitches."
Get that drop.
since apologize and resign. But I scanned through the 3-hour meeting, and he seemed like he may have been a little out of it.
I had a cat. I've had a few cats when I was a kid, and one of the fun things I would do with the cat is throw the cat places. But I would get it. Well, they always land on their feet.
That's true.
But
you do it 9 times before they die.
If you had a low, like I had a cat that followed me around everywhere. So if I went up a ladder and went on the roof, it would crawl up the ladder and follow me. When I would jump over the fence into Colfax Elementary to play basketball, it would climb the fence and go over it. And I used to take her sometimes, and if there's a low flat roof, like in my room in the backyard, I could throw her and she'd fly up about 8 feet, but only come down about 6 inches or something and land on the roof. We used to do that all the time. I haven't thought about it in a million years. I think the other thing we used to do is put her in a laundry hamper, like on the roof, and then drop her in the hamper to like my stepdad, who would catch it. So the cats are pretty durable. You can definitely you can fire. Well, also we have this weird relationship with cats because nobody likes cats. But if a drunken supervisor throws one, then we need his head on a pike. Like, which is it? Do you like them or not? My feel is
I personally like cats.
I love cats. It's his cat. He knows what his cat's capabilities are, and he understood that was well within the envelope of his cat's performance capabilities.
That's right.
So that's number one. But, if he was drunk and shouting slurs at people, then maybe he should get shit canned. I wouldn't do it just for the cat. He didn't get fired for the cat, did he?
No, I mean, that was part of part of the whole package, the whole drunken package.
Yes.
But that was the best clip, so we had to show
then who's going to be in charge of planning?
Who's going to build the Costco in Vallejo?
The cat is going to clear it. That would be the ultimate revenge if the cat took his seat.
That's exactly right. Petting a hairless human.
I got to tell you, like, we may think we're in trouble on like the national stage when it comes to politicians. I mean, you take a look at Trump or you take a look at Pelosi and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Who are these? What's going on? But when you take a look at some of the low level people, count your fucking lucky stars.
Yeah.
Like, some of these lower level people are insane. At least we have like functionally insane over in Washington. The local guys just seem flat out insane, a lot of them.
Yeah, now we have proof.
Yep.
Well, we knew there was going to be more of this, and there is. There are people that are being filmed at home, on the news that aren't wearing pants, and then they accidentally pull to a wide angle, and we see it. And of course, there's the other one. A Spanish news anchor was accused of cheating on his TV star girlfriend when viewers spotted a semi-naked woman walk behind him while he was filming a live segment. There she is. According to the New York Post, this is 41-year-old Alfonso Merlos, who was hosting a news report from his home amid the coronavirus lockdown, and this scantily clad gal just saunters behind him in the background shot. Some viewers pointed out that woman is not his girlfriend, Marta Lopez, who apparently was a former star of Big Brother. Merlos remained silent for days, didn't talk about it, then finally apologized to his girlfriend during an appearance on a news show. The partially clothed woman was later identified as another journalist, Alexia Rivas, and she says they've been dating for several weeks. So there may have been a little crossover.
Well, a couple things. He's signing on with a popped collar, as far as I can tell. So you got to know this guy's a serial cheater. The guy pops his collar. Look at Feig over there, all buttoned down. He's got his Windsor.
He's a faithful man.
That is not a cheater. That's right. You pop the collar, you're Lothario. So we got that. In terms of, these guys are reporters. I feel like this is the opposite of what you would want in a journalistic reporter. You know what I mean? Like walking around naked, not knowing the camera was on. Like, we may need you to go.
You need your head on a swivel when you're a reporter.
Yeah, like you need to be doing a little. You need to be a situational awareness needs to be a little bit higher when you're a reporter, right?
Can't be taken by surprise like that.
What was
somebody in them, a naked person in that mirror too? I guess you're so focused on how you look.
Right.
Is the person standing behind him? Is it a reflection?
The mirror behind him.
Yeah, let's look at that again.
I think that's what it seemed like, or was that a doorway?
Let's see.
I can't.
From the story, it says walked into the background of the shot.
Oh yeah, I think you know what? I think you're right. Yeah.
And then what happened? What were you saying about reality star?
So his actual girlfriend at the time, anyway, was from Big Brother. Her name is Marta Lopez. That's not Marta Lopez. That's another journalist.
Uh-huh. All right. Yeah, I wouldn't know. I would believe you if you said it was Marta Lopez. Like if you just showed me the shot and went, "That's not Marta Lopez," I'd go, "Well, that's not Marta Lopez."
Adam, everyone knows Marta Lopez has a shocking pink mohawk.
Oh, she does?
No, I have no idea.
That would make sense.
Yeah. Well, something that our in-house nutritionist, Vinnie Tortorich, would not be pleased to hear, hundreds of thousands of pounds of potatoes are at risk unless Belgians eat more fries and quick. This is according to CNBC. And they are very serious about this. Frozen potatoes account for 75% of Belgium's potato processing capacity, and demand's been crushed because restaurants are closed and freezers are full and nobody's buying these potatoes. So Belgium's industry faces a possible loss of $135.5 million if this surplus isn't eaten. So the head of the potato industry says they're working with supermarkets to see if they can launch this potato eating campaign. And they're asking people of Belgium during the stay-at-home order to eat, where is it? I think it's like, eat fries twice a week so we can mow through some of this potato surplus and not lose that money.
Come on, gang, we're going to Belgium. Everybody.
That's reasonable.
Right now.
Yes. Oh.
Can we judge a society by what they dip their fries into?
Sure.
Yeah, we
Yes,
can.
I'd say I think so.
Because we used to give, I don't know where, Canada, England, we gave someone a lot of shit for dipping them in mayonnaise, but then we started dipping ours in ranch, and we may have bumped them off the top of the pyramid of Dumbos, right?
Right.
What's worse? Ranch is dumber than mayonnaise, right?
Yeah, well, they're pretty equal. Anything white, I don't think is worth. Here's my tip, because I like ketchup, but my favorite thing to dip a fry into is cocktail sauce.
Oh,
Ooh,
nice.
zip.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
If I go to a barbecue joint, I like a little barbecue sauce to dip them into, but the cocktail's a little zesty. In the do-yourself-a-favor department, everything, the good-for-you version or the better-for-you version of everything sometimes tastes like shit, but in the ketchup department, that no sugar, no corn syrup, just ketchup, pure ketchup, whatever, in a glass bottle, do yourselves a favor. There really is no difference. You cannot tell the difference.
That's the way to go.
Stuff. Yeah, just get the good stuff that doesn't have the corn syrup in it, and you'll appreciate it. So what do they do in Belgium? What do they put on their fries? This is a big question. And another reason that's yes.
Yeah, go ahead. I was going to answer that for you.
Well, because what happens is if you're going to give away a metric ton of French fries to every citizen of Belgium, whoever's making the sauce they dip it in is gonna. You better buy stock in that company too, right?
That's right. I never had mayonnaise on French fries until I went to Belgium, and everything. This is just anecdotal, but everything seems to be mayonnaise based. So it's like a curry mayonnaise or a tomato mayonnaise, or all of these different mayonnaise based. But the curry one seems to be pretty popular in Belgium.
Good to know.
Yeah,
I feel that way about it's got to be cultural because there's nothing better than barbecued potato chips to me. Yeah. But when I hear about ketchup potato chips, I go, ooh, gross. And I have no idea.
Canada? Oh.
Yeah.
But they're good. I'm sure they're good. I don't know why I draw that distinction.
Yeah.
All right, let's do one more, Gina Grad.
You got it. Well, if you are really dying to go out to dinner and you are really into social distancing, there is one restaurant on the planet that you can go to. It's a Swedish restaurant, and it takes social distancing very seriously. The owners, Linda Carlson and chef Rasmus Persson, have declared it the only COVID-safe restaurant in the world. And their restaurant, called Board for In, which is table for one, we have a picture, exists in the middle of a farm field. No wait staff. They serve one person sitting at one table. There's a picnic basket that is zip-lined over to you. You eat it.
This looks like a George Harrison album cover from like 76.
That's right. This is a pay-what-you-can situation. It's a 3-course vegetarian meal, and you go in, you enjoy your meal alone in the middle of a field, and you get the hell out.
But the basket is covered in COVID.
Yeah. This is pure performance art, right? Nobody's.
That'd be fun.
God, I've really been craving that booth, that high back booth in the corner with the steak and the martini and the good
the
buddies.
red leather and the, oh my God, yes. That's the thing I miss the most, is a nice cold martini in one of those places.
I completely concur, and I don't know how to do it. I've done a couple of secret dates with my buddies where I'm like, you go to the steakhouse, take out the porterhouse, get the sides, I'll make the martinis, and meet me at the warehouse at the car museum.
Clandestine.
And it's good, but it ain't that. Like when that steak is coming out of off the grill, it's still sizzling when it hits the table. And when you drive it in from Beverly Hills into Glendale, like it's fine, but it's not that. It's not that experience. And as it turns out, I'm not great at making martinis either.
Paul, as a Paul, as a martini man, what's your recipe, and have you done that on your Instagram page?
Yeah, well, it was the very, very first show I did, but I hadn't figured out the technology, so I wasn't able to record it. So it was probably my best show. It was all about the martini, but it only exists in my phone right now. But
the quarantini.
Well, I actually invented a quarantine.
I was going to say that word's getting around now.
Yeah, no, I made my own recipe for a quarantini, which is it's gin, sake, Cointreau, and then some lemon orange bitters. And it's
really.
And I invented it.
And shaken, stirred. How do we do it?
Shake. Normally, I stir my martinis, or actually, my favorite martini in the world is a Duke's martini, which is based on the Duke's bar in London. And what you do is you freeze the glass, you freeze the bottle of gin, you put a little bit of vermouth in the frozen glass, swirl it around, dump it on the ground, or in the frozen gin, and put a big twist so it never touches ice. It's really strong, and they too will knock you on your ass, but they're the best way to have a martini.
Is there a difference between shaken and not stirred? Like, what is the difference?
Well, the difference is when you shake a martini, you really dilute it. You just water it down with all the ice chips and everything. And also, I'm not one of these guys, you bruise the gin. But at the same time, you just really knock it around a lot, so it comes out all cloudy, and it just dilutes it is really what it does.
What's a good, just straight ahead gin, if it is gin or vodka martini, for people that are listening right now that aren't real equipped to do this, but just a real basic shot at it?
Get your favorite gin or vodka. Honestly, a gin martini is a real martini. A vodka martini is a fake martini. But
well
it's
put,
okay.
Paul.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And then just get a shaker with ice or mixing glass or whatever. Fill it with ice. Put in, just put in a hint of a tiny drop of vermouth. Fill it up the rest with gin for what'll fit in your glass, and just stir it for like 3 to 4 minutes. Get it ice cold, because the only time a martini is not good is when it's not cold enough. So if you get kind of a lukewarm martini, it's not good. And if I may, I do have a gin coming out, my friends.
Oh, you do? Let's talk. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. It's called.
And wait, how do we garnish it? Is it we olive? Are we
I'm
lemon?
a twist guy. I'm a twist guy. What you do is you cut a really big twist. Meaning don't cut a slice of lemon. Cut the peel, and then what you do is. Everybody thinks that the flavor from the lemon comes from the inside, but it's actually for a martini. It's the outside. Yeah,
oil.
The oil. You squeeze make it like a canoe. Squeeze it over the top. It'll release this oil, and then you run it around the edge of the glass and drop it in, and then it just got that. Oh, it's fantastic.
I feel like a junkie right now. Who do I got to kill to get one of these fucking martinis? Yeah.
So what's your vodka?
Yeah. Oh, gin.
Gin. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gin. It's called Ardingstall's Gin. It's actually in a few stores here right now. It's in House of Ambrose and the Duvan. We're all over Canada now. We just sold out in Canada. But I'm a gin fanatic, and I for years been trying to get my own going, and now we did it. Oh, wow. Hey, there's a picture of me and my bottle. But I'll get you a bottle of it.
We would love it. I don't know how well you know Chris Morgan from all the Fast and Furious and Hobbs and Shaw and stuff that, but that guy's done hour-long dissertations with me about about martinis, and you two ought to get together after this quarantine and talk martinis, because he loves the science of it, and I do. To me, I just love the nuance of it. I don't know if I could taste the difference between one that was made this way or one that was made that way, but there's something, again, it's one of those, what's great about this country. It's why you should love a Ferrari or a Rolex. It's like you'll never drive that to its full capability. The Rolex that is good for 1,000 meters, you'll barely go in your fucking swimming pool with. But somebody made it able to do that. And you should appreciate them taking the time to want to do that. And when I hear people talk about, I don't even separate a beautiful car, beautiful watch, and a beautiful martini. It's like, I love the nuance and the science.
Yeah, I'm with you. Well, first of all, Adam, when this is all done and we can sit down together, I'm gonna make you several different martinis, and I'm gonna show you the difference. Because one of the greatest things I ever had happen was when I was in Scotland on my honeymoon 25 years ago. I always heard about single malt scotch, and I felt the same way. It's like, well, they all taste the same. And so I went into the bar one day and I said to this, the bartender, I said, like, all right, give me a lesson on scotch. And he put out 6 glasses and he poured 6 different regions. And after that, I was like, I completely get it. This tastes completely different than that, this and that. So it is, but you have to really get somebody to walk you through the nuance of it. So let me be your tour guide through booze.
I'm going to take that inflatable skirt walking bubble, and I'm going to put a funnel on the top of it. I'm going to hook up basically a beer bong, and I'm just going to waddle over to Paul's house, and then you just dump different ones on my head, and I'll just suck it through a car nose.
You're on. My
I cannot wait.
You'll be like a gerbil drinking out of that, the straw that comes down.
Let me hit Simply Safe. With all the uncertainty in the world, feeling safe at home has never been more important. That's why you need to get Simply Safe, comprehensive protection for your home. And these guys have been friends of the show for a long, long time and a great sponsor. You can just order it online, set it up yourself, do it in under an hour. Everyone here uses Simply Safe, peel and stick, up and running in a short period of time. Batteries last up to 10 years. So if you want to know how the technology works, very well. No technician or salesperson comes to your house. No outrageous monthly fees or contracts. Your home is protected 24/7 with emergency dispatch if someone breaks in or there's a fire or more. And it's just 50 cents a day. 50 cents a day. U.S. News and World Report named Simply Safe best overall home security 2020. Right, Dawson?
Head to simplysafe.com/Adam and get a free HD camera for our listeners. That's simplysafe.com/Adam to make sure they know that our show sent you. From Simply Safe and all of us here, wishing you safety and good health.
All right. Did we bring it home, Gina Grad?
We'll bring it home right now. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Gina Grad.
That was the news with Gina Grad.
Tour my shop and car museum is so far at the highest number on good.com, and I think this Sunday's the last day. Sorry, what?
Biddingforgood.com.
Oh, biddingforgood.com, and you can go there, and it's going to close out this Sunday. Paul Feig, everyone. Love Life, available May 27th. Which is my birthday, so it's ingrained into my head. Nice. On HBO Max, starring Anna Kendrick. And where should we go? We should go to your Instagram, Paul's Instagram at Paul Feig. It's FEIG, every day at 5 Pacific time, and see what he's cooking up at his martini. Not shaker, but stir.
Exactly. Hey, Adam, can I pitch one more thing?
Sure.
I produced the show Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, which is showing its finale this Sunday on NBC. But you can go back and watch all the episodes. It's a musical dramedy. It's one of the greatest shows ever. I'm so proud of it.
I will say this. I have not seen it, but NBC is very behind this show because I have seen 250,000 commercials for that spot. So it always means it's either doing well, testing well, or some executive's wife just fucking loves it.
All of the above, Adam.
And all of the above. All right. Good Sports is coming next. You can go to Chassis, CHASSY.com, and get all the Blu-rays of my movies and docs over there. You can pre-order my book, I'm Your Emotional Support Animal. That's up at Amazon. And you can watch all our stand-up, all my stand-up at our YouTube page, youtube.com/Adam Carolla. So, Good Sports next. Until next time, it's Adam Carolla for Paul Feig, Gina Grad, and Bryan saying mahalo.